Virtual summits are the most powerful online marketing tool available to grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and create an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. If you are ready to take your summit to the next level, then tune into the Virtual Summit Podcast with Dr. Mark T. Wade.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software and creator of the One Day Summit Formula. And I'm on a mission to help you, the summit host, get your summit out to the world in a powerful and impactful way. So let's get started. Oh, no big deal. Just the difference between complete and total victory success and utterly demoralizing failure. That's what hinders on you knowing this information about how to create your summit home video. So get ready because you're in for a treat. Hey there, Dr. Mark T. Wade, founder of Virtual Summit Software, creator of the One Day Summit, and your host here on the Virtual Summit Podcast. I'm excited for today's episode, but I want to remind you to check out the show notes over at podcast.virtualsummits.com/90. You can actually get access to a summit home video example, which we're going to talk about in this episode. Okay, Summit crew, what were we talking about? What we're talking about today is going to be arguably the most important episode I've released today. We're going to be doing a deep dive into the infamous Summit home video. The Summit home video is quite possibly the most important, yet most overlooked aspect of your summit. I mean, think about it. Your summit hinges on the hopes that people opt in to attend it. What determines if they attend or opt in? The summit registration page, which, to be quite honest, most of us are doing a pretty poor job with as well. You can actually check out the free training we have in the resources area at virtualsummits.com on how to create a high converting summit page. Now, focusing on the topic at hand, out of that summit registration page, what is arguably the most important aspect of the page? Yes, the summit home video. Except no one is taking any time to ensure they're doing well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pointing fingers. I have my hand raised as a participant in this horrendous action also. Most of us are not a level, we're not at a level copywriters or movie and film producers or even qualified video editors. However, more than half of summit hosts script, produce, perform, and edit their own summit home videos. Well, that's ambitious to say the least, but I totally get it. Comes down to funds, resources, and if you have anyone on your team that can help you with that. So I decided to dig down into this super important topic and figure out how we can create epic summit home videos. I will say we have been and are continuing to perfect this process. We've gotten pretty good at it, but we're never going to quit trying. Also, if you're like me and prefer to see a visual example, you can head over to the show notes and we'll put a link to an entire workshop I did on this topic, along with an example of one of our summit home videos so you can see what a finished product looks like. Again, that's over at podcast.virtualsummits.com/090. Let's get down and dirty with the summit home video. First off, it's one of the first three things your audience will and should see, the other two being the title and subtitle in most summit pages. This video is so important. Why? Because it's the best opportunity you have at creating a relationship with your audience. Remember, the whole point of a summit is to solve a problem and build a relationship. Although text and images are good, videos are better for creating that know, like, and trust. It's what is going to really introduce the topic and let the audience get a feel for you and what you're trying to help them with. This is also your best opportunity to create some emotion and motivation and motivate the audience to sign up for your summit. We've done the unthinkable. We've convinced 35 of the most successful summit hosts, coaches, and consultants to give you their prized possession, their summit email copy. Get more information at summitscripts.com. Now, typically on most summits, there are 4 types of people coming to your summit homepage. The excited ones. These are your crew, your tribe, the yin to your yang, visitors who are already know they want to sign up. They are your warm audience, and you don't even need to convince them. They'd sign up whether you had a video or really anything on the page. The next is the curious ones. They are interested, but they need more information before they're ready to commit. These types need the home video. This is that extra push that is going to get them into the summit. Next are your skeptics. They're the ones who either don't believe the topic or think they already know the information and most likely think they know more or better than you do. It's okay. Skeptics are the ones who turn into the biggest raving fans, but they need a well-produced summit home video. They need to see that you do know what you're talking about. And oh, look at that. They actually agree with the information you're presenting to them. And bada bing, bada boom, they're emailing you 17 times to tell you how great you are, sending you gift packages, confessing their life, and before you know it, drawing heart signs on your bedroom window while you're sleeping. Okay, sorry, maybe that was a unique experience, but you get the point. Skeptics are great, but they need a good video. The last type of homepage videos is the never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, doot, doot, doot. You know, those types. Meaning it doesn't matter if you found the cure to hunger, they aren't hitting that register button. Most likely, they accidentally ended up on the page by clicking a wrong link or looking for something else anyways. No worries. That is what it is. But out of everyone, those are typically less than 10% of summit visitors. Your excited ones make up typically 20 to 30% of the summit visitors, which leaves you with a whopping 60 to 70% up for grabs. Yeah, that is a huge percentage. So we need to make sure that our summit home videos rocks so we can convert those undecideds and turn them into our attendees. Another reason the summit home video is so important is because it caters to multiple different learning types. We have both audio and visual. Plus, it's the best way to communicate complex or lengthy ideas. If you try and explain all of that in big blocks of text, your summit is not going to convert. Don't do that. Don't put large chunks of text. Not good. Also, when creating it, which we'll get into, you need to create emotion, joy, excitement, sadness, fear, anger. You have to elicit emotion. So, how do we prepare to create a summit home video? First, it starts off by knowing your audience. You have to know their top problem, and it needs to be clear. Common mistake is making the summit information about you or what you think they want. It needs to be about what their problem and pain point is, and it needs to be clear. Should be one solid pain point with potentially two to four supporting factors. Next, you need to create a mission. Even if there really isn't a mission your summit is about, you need to make it sound like it. Missionify your summit. How are you going to change the world? Rally the troops. Create a mission. Now, you need to create a story with a storyline. It needs to be clear. Start with where they are, what their pain point is, then the epiphany or how you found out to solve the problem, then future pacing on how the world can be once they have the same information. You need to have a strong call to action. It needs to be compelling and only one. Don't have 2 or 3 different things you're asking. On the Summit Home video, you want them to register. That's it. Don't ask them to share or comment or email or call their uncle. One thing and one thing only. That's to register. You want to mention that multiple times. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Lastly, you need to map it out. Outline it. Start with just bullet points and get an idea of each of these items. Don't just wing this and don't try to throw it together in a few minutes. This is one of the most important things you will do for your summit. More important than your interviews, more important than your summit offer, because if they don't register for your summit, then none of those even matter. Now, let's dig into how to map it out. With those bullet points, start to write out some rough drafts under each bullet point. It's okay at this point, just write. Don't worry about keeping it short or concise or whether it fits or not. This is the brainstorming stage. You just want to let your creativity flow. Just get it out all on paper. Don't worry about the order or whether or either. You can always arrange that later. That is why I like bullet points. You can just write under those, and then I can move them around if they fit better somewhere else.
Be sure to check out the speaker management tool inside your virtual summit software, which lets you quickly and easily recruit and manage your speakers on your virtual summit, literally eliminating hundreds of hours of work. Get more information at virtualsummits.com.
After you get everything out of your brain and on paper, then go away. Yes, leave. Leave the idea and the information alone for at least a day or longer. You need to let it sit, because what seems like magic today may look like a frog dressed in a prince suit tomorrow. Then come back to it and reread it from a critical perspective. I know this is your baby. This is the greatest thing you've ever written, and it will feel like the way Washington felt after he wrote the Constitution, but it's not. It's actually a third grade spelling exam, and you just flunked it. So go at it with a critical eye. Try to hate it. Try to destroy it. Try to tear it apart. The harder you can be now, the better it will be later. Now, after you edit it with a critical eye, it's time to let someone else take a gander at it. Not your mom or your friend who tells you everything you do is perfect. Someone you trust that will give you honest and transparent feedback. Preferably someone in your industry that knows what you're talking about, so they can give specific feedback. Then actually listen. Don't just dismiss their feedback. Listen to it. Update your draft accordingly. Edit it and update it again. Now, go through it, but at this point, start thinking of it visually. What images or videos or ideas would bring this text to life? Start to write out on the side of the paper any visuals or pictures that pop into your head. You can write down more than one, and the more the better. Now go back at it again and start to highlight chunks of text or words that are important, that need to stand out, things that really emphasize what you are trying to communicate, words that need to pop out and be heard. These will be the text that gets put in the video alongside you as you re-emphasize what you're saying. Now, do one last walk away and then a final edit. I like to even give myself another few days after the edit and give it one last final read through. I like to read out loud too. I will even have my partner read it out loud to me, so I can sit and imagine what it looks like, seeing the images and the visuals in my head. Then, if you are now still in love with this final version, it's time to start production. Now, we're in pre-production. This means you need to get ready to record. You need to plan it out. We're going to record. Where are you going to record the video? Are you going to a film studio? Are you doing it in your living room? Are you going to a specific location to film, multiple locations? Write these all down and make your plans to film. Always plan to film at least twice, if not more. The second recording is always a bit better than your first. It just is. Make sure your environment is set up okay. Noise control. Secure everything. Everything's in the correct place, and then test it. I can't tell you how many times I've set out to record something, and then after I literally produced the most beautiful, perfect, immaculate recording the world has ever seen, that is exactly when I realized that the lens cap was still on, or we forgot to turn the microphone on, or something other crazy thing happens. I've literally dropped to my knees before with hands outstretched upwards with a harking shriek, pleading with the universe, why would you punish me like this? I wouldn't wish that feeling upon anyone. Just test your environment before you get started. Now, you're ready to record. This is the easy part. Success is in the prep. And now it's time to shine. Let your inner J-Lo flow. Perform like Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl. Or maybe not like that, but you get the picture. You're a star. Let it shine, you fabulous, sexy beast, you. Now, we move into post-production. This is where we will edit out any mistakes, add background images, rollovers, any special effects or images and B-roll. I want to make a note here. that in the weekly workshop I did on this topic, I went through and showed all the different equipment we use when filming our Summit Home videos. Now, I'm not going to do that here, but if you're interested, you can get access to that video via the show notes at podcast.virtualsummits.com/090. It was pretty informative. So, how should your Summit Home video feel? First and foremost, it should feel like an extension of you. Remember, we are building a relationship. We want our audience to know us. So let your personality shine through and play into it. If you're a funny person, be funny. If you're full of love and joy, then show it. But more than anything, it needs to be entertaining. Entertaining means that it needs to elicit emotion. It doesn't have to be funny, but it has to make us feel something. Additionally, it needs to be educational, but not overly. We're focused on the main problem. Don't go through every single aspect of the summit here. Focus on highlighting the problem, teasing the solution, and eliciting emotion.
With the Ever Summit feature inside the Virtual Summit software, you can rerun your summit as if it were live, ongoing forever with one click of a button. This now lets you continue to use your summit forever, bringing in qualified and engaged leads every month into your business. Get more information at virtualsummits.com.
Lastly, it needs to motivate us to take action. We need to be compelled to register for that summit. So strong call to action is needed. So, as we start to wrap this episode up, I have a few more items to cover here. I think this is probably the thing you want to know the most. We have created a framework for our Summit Home videos, one that seems to work well. Again, I have an example video over in the show notes you can check out to see the finished version of this, but how we like to lay out our home videos are as follows. The different home video components, recorded by Mark. First is the hook. Just like in our interview with the Impact program, we talk about how to improve your summit sessions. Same is true for your home video. You have to immediately hook your audience or they're gone. Something strong and compelling that creates curiosity or intrigue to learn more. Then state the problem. This is their problem and it needs to be clear and in their words. Any supporting factors or contributing factors can be briefly addressed here. 2 to 4, not everything. Next, call to action. Remember, one specific and strong call to action. Then we go into credibility. Now, this is not your bio and not all about you. I would even say you could never mention your name or who you are here, and it would still be fine. However, if you're going to say who you are, this is where you do it. But more importantly, the credibility is about the topic at hand. Why is it important? Any quick zingers that adds credibility to your summit, but primarily focused on the topic. Next is the story. Tell a story, create emotion, elicit feelings. Nothing does this better than telling a story. You can add at this point the benefits, not the features, the benefits of attending the summit, what they will get out of it. Don't go on and on about their 50 amazing speakers and they all wear glass slippers and have superpowers, etc. No, this is what your attendee will get out of registering for the summit. Add another direct call to action here. Then any social proof. This could be a testimony. This could be short speaker clips. This could be anything that adds proof to the value of this summit and topic. Lastly, create urgency. Really push hard here to motivate them to sign up and attend. Incorporated in urgency is the final call to action. That's the Summit home video components. Now, with that being said, shorter is always better. No longer than 7 minutes. Over 7 minutes and you will lose your audience. Ideally, you will keep it 5 minutes or less. A few final takeaways and things not to do. Always think about this from the eyes of your audience. You're creating this for them. It needs to be 100% about them, not you. You should change something in the video every 3 to 7 seconds to keep their attention. This is a tactic in the film industry. They change the scene every 3 to 7 seconds to keep the attention of their audience. You need to do the same on your home video. You need to bring the energy here. This cannot be low energy and boring and monotonous and monotone. Next, visuals are super important. Also, the thumbnail is important. It needs to entice your audience to click the image. Quality, both video and audio quality are very important here. I'm not saying you need to spend $10,000 on a professional video shoot, but whatever you can do to make it more professional, the better. Get help. Don't try to do this all on your own. As we've said, this is one of the most important aspects of your summit. Don't wing it. You're not a professional film producer or an audio technician or a video editor. Don't try to be. Get help to make sure your summit home video is excellent. Also, plan to use this as a promotional video as well. After you film the video, do a few more clips that can be interchanged with the calls to action so that you can use it on social or for speakers. Don't just be a talking head as well. No one wants to watch that. You need to add some special effects there. Whatever you do, don't be long and don't be boring. This is not about you. You always make it about the audience. Don't use big chunks of text and don't just wing it. I don't care how good you think you are, map it out. Again, I highly recommend you check out both the example summit home video I put on the show notes so that you can see what a finished example looks like. Keep in mind, even ours is not perfect. I found a few little tweaks we could do to make it even better, but still, this will help you see and understand what it should look like. I think that about does it for the summit home video. Man, doesn't that feel good now? I feel like we just go out there, conquer the world with that information. I mean, I'm so stoked to see your summit home video. Matter of fact, I would love for you to share that with us. Go over to the Facebook group. I'll link to it in the show notes, and you can post your summit home video there, and I'll even review it for you, give you some feedback. Now, I truly believe with this information now, you will have the ability to absolutely rock out the most important part of your summit registration page. And with that, you will dramatically increase your conversions for your summit. And that will let you get your message out to the world. That will wrap us up here. Just remember, your message matters. Now go out and make an impact in the world, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening. Now don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review on the Virtual Summit podcast. Head over to the show notes to check out all the links and resources from this episode, and be sure to grab your free trial of the Virtual Summit software.
Now, I want to end this episode by saying to all the Summit hosts listening right now, I believe in you, and you can do this. Summits are by far one of the most powerful ways to quickly grow your list, launch your platform, make more money, and most importantly, make an impact in the world, even if you're just getting started. So don't get caught up in analysis paralysis, because the world needs to hear your message, and there are people who are waiting for you to help them. So just get started, because imperfect action is always better than no action. Thank you, and see you on the next episode.